the extent of volunteerism in CSR policy. First, if you're going to attend this question, you're going to focus on the command verb that is assess, and assess means explaining the terminologies in a perfect way with the judgment, providing the judgments. And with that, start with the definition of volunteerism and give the example and significance. In context to CSR, don't forget that. Use available information to make a judgment, produce a convincing argument for this judgment. To assess the extent of volunteerism, incorporate social responsibility. I chose Kiko, a makeup brand, an Italian brand, Kiko Milano, an Italian cosmetics brand. We can examine the company's responses to pressure groups. Pressure groups are the one which are actually at the part of the labor unions. They are the one which can pressurize a decision if they think it's not perfectly fine with them, along with the effectiveness of its voluntary CSR initiatives. Volunteerism is when you're doing things voluntarily, by your will, by your choice. Volunteerism in the CSR typically refers to the practices a company adopts without regulatory requirement. That is, you do not need any rules and regulations for it, reflecting its proactive approach to ethical standards and social responsibility. Proactive approach, it means you are going to take the measures. We're not only going to talk, we are going to take measures if we think it's necessary with ethical standards, what are the norms of the society, and social responsibility. Because voluntary practices, CSR, and social, they all three are interconnected to each other. The first point is response to pressure groups. Go with the background. Pressure groups such as environmental organizations, animal rights advocates, and consumer safety groups. Why I'm taking the names of these things? Because my example is of the Kiko Milano. It's a makeup brand. So alternatively, the context changes, but the point is same. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. For the Kiko Milano, as with other cosmetics brand, issues related to the animal testing, that is, you people know that we cannot test products on the animals. It is prohibited in many of the part of the world. Sustainable packaging, that is the one which is portable and recycled. Product ingredient sourcing have drawn attention from the source from the such groups. Like even it's a problem that of haram things in the makeup too. Just like when we have to degrade the things from the food as well, we go with the makeup too. Not every makeup is suitable for us. Kiko's response for the environmental pressure, facing growing environmental awareness, that is the one which is going on through different campaigns. It has voluntarily committed to reducing plastic in its packaging. Now, what they did, just because of the awareness going on for the CSR practices, they have tried to reduce, not completely eliminate the plastics in the packaging. The company introduced sustainable packaging with specific lines dedicated to eco-friendly materials. Like we have lip like it's a girl example. From now onwards, I won't give it anytime soon, because it's helpful for us as well. We have different materials, different products in the makeup lines. Not every line is acceptable as an eco-friendly. Few of the products are acceptable and few are not. And they are pricey too, the one which are recycled. And establish goals to gradually increase recyclable and sustainable materials. Environment, animal rights advocacy. Although the European Union banned animal testing on the cosmetics, Kiko has gone further by committing to the cruelty-free practices worldwide, including markets where the animal testing may still occur as a requirement. Now, there are so many things going on in the makeup industry at one stance. It's not an easy procedure when we get a final cute bottles of Fenty Beauty and further cosmetics. It has been through so much process. It is banned, but again, in few of the lanes, it is still acceptable. People do test the one who are working there. Fair trade and ethical sourcing. Pressure to ensure that ingredient sourcing is both ethical and sustainable. That is the one ingredients which are being used in the lipsticks, in the lip stains, in the lip liners, whether they are from the perfectly sourced fine or not, whether it's a good one or not. Because we have so many qualities and standards in it. To adopt supplier transparency standards, focusing on the raw material sourcing, the adherence to fair trade principles, and ethical labor practices, because everything should be according to the framework. Judgment. Kiko's response to pressure groups highlight a strong voluntary commitment to CSR. Even though some of these practices align with regulatory requirements, few of them, it has extended these commitments to meet higher ethical standards, demonstrating a proactive stance driven by corporate values rather than them mirroring the compliance. What it means they are working way too effectively on the policies and procedures of the CSR, aligning with the goals and objectives of the organization Kiko. But again, there are chances of errors. Clear? This part?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's read the conclusion. It was a copy. Kiko's CSR initiatives demonstrate a significant level of volunteerism, especially in environmental sustainability and ethical practices. Now, due to this organization, what they are doing, they have a very good campaign in the social medias as well, and they have a very high pressure from the pressure groups as well. Pressure that is, in the words I could say, they have responsibility on them to provide an excellent product to the consumers when it gets with value added and the final production. The company's responses to pressure groups and effectiveness in voluntary CSR show that Kiko adopts proactive measures in response to stakeholder concerns. When the higher authorities, stakeholders, they could be consumers, government, um, employees, board of directors, entrepreneurs, they have a concern because they have maybe invested in the organization or their sales are depending on it, on the sales of their product lines. Then it is very important that they are going to align everything with the CSR. If they're not doing it, then people are going to definitely go to the other brands. Now, there are readily plans available, which is more affordable than the Kiko itself. The commitment to sustainable packaging, cruelty-free practices, ethical sourcing, limited recycling programs indicate that Kiko is voluntarily advancing CSR efforts motivated by both consumer expectations and ethical values. Now, all the commitment practices which we read right now, the first one is sustainable packaging. The packaging of the cardboard, of the lipsticks and the stuff of the makeup, and the product itself is recycled. It is environment friendly. Cruelty-free practices, it is not tested on the animals and sulfate-free. Ethical sourcing, the raw material which is used to make the products of the makeup, it is perfectly fine. It is acceptable by the society and by the standards of the SOPs. Limited recycling programs, because not everything is recycled, they told us earlier too. And this is making them what? This is making the Kiko voluntarily acceptable and worldwide acceptable as well. Kiko has established itself as a brand committed to voluntary CSR practices, especially in the areas valued by its consumer base. Now, there are certain products which are quite liked by the consumers of the Kiko, the one which are loyal consumers of this brand. So they have upgraded it by the packaging, by putting excellent product in it and delivering a perfect advertisement too. So everything has a say in it. Expanding its sustainability initiatives across all product lines, enhancing transparency, introducing more consistent community engagement would strengthen its CSR strategy further. First, expansion means that is you're extending yourself. You're not standing at one Italy. Your makeup branches are in all around the globe. With that, it has sustainability initiatives. It is going to be prolonged for more than 10 to 15 years and more than that as well. How? In all the product lines, whatever they are making. Secondly, transparency, being opaqueness. They're loyal with their consumers. Introducing more consistent community engagement, that is the sales girls which are standing in the shops. They are more closer to you when you go as a consumer. They know what is being liked by the consumer more. They know what is the feedback, even if it is about the price or the packaging or the color ranges as well. However, Kiko's current efforts reflect a commendable level of volunteerism, with practices aligned to evolving societal standards in the beauty industry. So, in this era, in this industry, they have a very good number and ranking as well because they are working on sustainability factor with evolving volunteerism and CSR practices. That's it. We are done with the complete LO3 today, Alhamdulillah. Any question regarding this course or any ambiguity you may ask me right now?
Ma'am, at the end, the 3D one which you explained to us, that one also we have to choose SMEs, right? Because it has to be like environmental friendly, each and everything. Because only there was giving only one indicative content, the last one which we studied today.
Yeah, I
Assess.
feel like yeah, there were only 2 points. First one
Oh,
was
2 points
question,
on.
and the other one was enhancing, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. And for
Okay.
you people for doing specification to evaluate when we do not have any points. I double checked
Okay.
the specification today.
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
All right.